lead. However, thanks to those 3 eliminations, they're not going to have to worry about this Tier 2 Storm Surge when it rears its head.
Yeah, it feels great. They got the elims, but they're not yet in the placement threshold. We are about 8 trios going down before we can start doling out those points. And this is the things they're already overcoming these engagement obstacles, but they're not out of the water yet. There's still some stormy skies ahead of them. Nakos, Floki, and Clemento are making their way up the board slowly and surely, but they're going to need Nakos, Floki, and Clemento are making their way up the You're going to have to shoot back and let the people know that are doing those window edits stop shooting at me.
And one of the key things about this trio is their ability to get eliminations gives them the opportunity to climb up the leaderboard just a little bit more effectively. Again, we've talked about it in the games where they don't drop right away. They're one of the more aggressive trios, so their averages are brought down a little bit by those complete and utter goose egg games. When you take those out of consideration, they have a really good time, but forget what I'm saying right now, as the matter of importance is in the bottom right-hand corner. You see that white circle? That's the 4th safe zone. There's only 3 trios currently inside of it, so everyone else is going to begin a mad dash to just pack in on the southern side of that circle. The entirety of the lobby will be trying to squeeze into that area because everyone else is going to be coming from that side. Nobody wants to put themselves as the first ones out over water. It makes it so easy. You can see everyone going at once, just desperately swimming, hoping to avoid the fire at the top. And just look at the charge up the beach. Storming the beachhead comes EU.
Oh my goodness, and we're seeing trios already going for height. Mongo Mitro at height, and just behind them, looming in a distance, as Benzi Trio. And they're kind of gambling in. If the circle goes their way and half in and half out, they're going to have a strong hold here. So Mongo, Mitro, and Tayson here are just now beaming any kind of salmon trying to swim upstream. And they're going to be that bear that's going to feed on this entire rotation here. And look at the congestion that you're seeing here. Everybody, like you mentioned, Sundown, all trying to get on the beach as much as possible and hold on tight. And already there's only one trio that's kind of sitting up there, that pink one, and Floki. Oh no, Floki goes down. That engagement that took up the time is influencing them, it's hurting them on this rotation, Sundown.
And they're completely out there. Clement got picked up earlier. Nakos going down right afterward in the long rotation. The top 4 team, we talked about their ability to get eliminations, but at what cost? Apparently everything, as our number 1 trio sits high atop their perch, high atop the throne. They're first in the leaderboard. They're first right now in positioning here. Nakos gets a little bit of a gimme there as Dave, aka Rojo, will tick over, but one more player will drop and our Storm Surge will turn off. We have 19 trios left, so almost into the placement points, but yet again up on the high ground. Mitro, Mongrel, and Tayson priority positioning. Our second place team still in the lobby, but they're going to have to be toppled at some point. The clock is against everyone else, as Janice and Andalex are also without a squeeze. They're in a duo. However, luckily for everyone, the lobby is pulling completely away from that, with the little side note that we are going all the way over the water. So expect a ton of utility to be burnt here with only 3 trios having priority.
Split Splash, we are taking a bath here in this in-game. It's all going to be aquatic. It's all going to be chaotic. It's all going to be dangerous. But at the end, there's going to be someone that's going to have a victory royale. They're going to be soaked. They're going to be tired from all the sweat and all the water. But it's going to be a big game. Somebody could easily kind of bolt their way up their leaderboard. But if Mongo, Mitro, and Tayson, yes, they didn't get the victory royale, but Shayo said it best. They kind of got a mini victory just by staying up. And look at it. They're at height. This is going to be big considering everything's going to be over water. The low ground warriors are not going to have the ability to save their resources because they're going to have to build floors as well.
Yeah, and we've talked about it too, the opportunities for when these...
Hello?
Single game, and it's going to have to be pried out of our eliminated bodies right now. As you can see, 3 eliminations, everyone still trying to pack on in, and again, placement points starting to get doled out. And as we keep an eye on the top of the leaderboard, every single placement point that Tayson, Mongrel, and Mitro get effectively nullifies the placement points everyone else is getting, because it doesn't matter if you get that point, they're getting it too. They'll continue to open up that lead, and unless somebody can knock them down off of this throne, it looks like it's going to continue to be a battle for second as the 5th zone will close. We'll have our transition into the end game, and we're going to head over to the Shark, baby.
Yes, and now Cammy, that was a trio that was able to knock off Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson with a shockwave play. That is the EU thing to do. No doubt, Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson know how to kind of combat that. They know the defense, and they get a good spread, and there it is. They're going to beam all these people trying to go for it. They're already going to the tip of the nose of the Shark. They're becoming the Sharks of the region. We already have a Rogue Shark, NA East, the X-Set boys, and all that, but Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson are being the alpha predators, the apex of right now in this EU region, and that is proof in the pudding, considering they're sitting on top of the leaderboard and they're looking pretty and they're looking swaggish, because right now Tayson picked up a knock in the feet, and we already seen this. Double E limbs comes from height. The E limb natality is strong with this trio.
And you can see, have you ever just wanted a shark with a laser beam on top of his head? Well, this is the best you'll ever get. It's Mongrel up there with a legendary Stark infantry rifle, raining shots from above. We saw Savage go down in the feed. Lefty's going to pick up another elim. Despite the fact that 17 players have dropped, not a single trio has gone down, so only one placement point doled out. And as I say that, they begin to tick over. Mongrel gets another elimination. 15 trios remaining, going to be forced over to the side. He's going to build back up. He needs to get over to the high ground and connect with this team, but they are doing a great job of executing this textbook high ground control, and it's going to be their match to close out. However, low on mats is Mongrel, but he says, don't matter, don't care. I got the AR I need in the Stark Industry Rifle, and he finds another elimination. We have our top 20 players, top 11 trios.
And it's going to go back over water again. And it all is up to Tayson, the in-game leader, to kind of lead Mongrel and Mitro to the prime position with getting a knock on ZQ, getting them those angles that they need to send those beams down. We've already labeled these as one of the strongest players in the region with beams, and look at this, it's going to go off a waterfall, so the more elevation is going to go down and down. This is going to be crazy. This is intense. Coral Castle, and now we're going to take a peek just for a brief moment at what is going down in the chaos down below. We have the ultimate box fighter teams, Wolfie, CRR, and Kenzel sitting in 3rd place, trying to say, wait a minute, not so fast, Mongrel. We are going to contest you, and we are going to have a chance to win, but it's going to require a huge effort to dethrone the Kings on top, Sundown.
And we still need to see them go down. However, Janus on his feet, despite Andalex being up to the 2nd place team, at least still getting up to 5th. That's what the top trios do the best in the game. They manage to find a way to eke out these placement points. We've talked about it, that Europe has kind of been the run of the Lone Ranger of the final moments. And if there isn't a trio hip to hip, then there's an opportunity for the clutches to come through. But right now, on the low ground, you have one of the most dangerous trios who is hip to hip, as Hen will go down there. Deceptos following in his feet right away will signal the end of that trio, but Wolfies is at the back of the storm. But at the end of the day, the story of EU, time and time again, E11 Tayson, the Chapter 2 Season 3 solo winner, Liquid Mitro and Mongrel on the high ground running it out. It's a 3v2. They have 11 eliminations, and at this point, it is a battle for second. There is no way, unless there is a monumental ruin, that with the way this trio is playing so far, anybody will be able to catch them or repeat this performance. And this is why Mitro drops down. Tayson and Mongrel shooting fish in a literal barrel of the zone. 13 eliminations, 38 points.
You know they're feeling it when Tayson edit downs Mitro to be the ultimate swanton bomb off the top rope, getting the big-time E-limbs and the victory royale. Sundown. Wow, man. We all question, will Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson have a successful hot start in day 2? And that right there, with the great consistency in that opening games, proves that they have a great chance of walking away to being that FNCS Trios champion.
55 points through the first 2 games. This trio is averaging now just over 25 points a game. That's a victory royale with nothing else. This run is nuts, but we're going to send it on over to Zeke, Shio, and Reese to show us how good it really is.
First game jitters, no. Thank you, Reese. Thank you. Number one. Listen, first game jitters are gone. The trio cracks back. I can't believe it. And these guys did a perfect job of calling this out for us, right? Tayson being your solos invitational FNCS champion from Chapter 2, Season 3. Coming in, you've got the veterans, the pioneers, Mongrel and Mitro. You slam them all together, and we may very well be looking at the next FNCS Trios champions. Let's take a look at these leaderboards. Look at this lead, gentlemen.
It is monstrous. 186 points to 122, and these guys have 3 victory royales.
That's incredible, actually. 64 points in the lead. And you know, Mongrel and Mitro have been known as this really aggressive 2 players. Solo, duo, trio, squads, it doesn't matter. These guys are very, very aggressive. And you know, when they started teaming up with Tayson, I felt like it was a personal, fantastic choice because Tayson is very calm, collected, very keeps his own head, and he can IGL these guys into victory. And throughout the start of the FNCS, there was a lot of memes on social media about Tayson, you know, struggling to keep these 2 on their leash. But it seems like at this point, he's wrapped it all up, and these guys are just playing incredibly consistently.
And we'll have much more to break down as to what they did in that last game. Pay attention to the 2nd and 3rd place, Kinzel and X Squeezes trio. These guys are now just 1 point beside each other. We'll see how their story kind of unfolds in these next few games and who gets to have that 2nd place slot. Over here from 6th all the way to 10th place, Benji, Savage, and Lecce finding some success with Elims in a few games, not making those end games completely. 85 points right now. Past that from 7th to 10th, it is just a 4-point game from Floris' trio all the way down to Teeks.
Yeah, very, very close between the 6th and 10th. And, you know, we just talked about Benji's team there. They kind of have been struggling being contested off spawn, kind of similar to what we've seen during the qualifiers. You know, they'll win that fight, but it'll drag out way too long, and the rotations just aren't good because of that. So I don't know what the next plan is for the next few games today, but hopefully they can kind of figure that out. But moving on to our next page, 11th down to 15th, kind of the similar names that we've seen over the last 2 days on this page.
Yeah, I was going to say that the top 15 is really kind of looking standard now. These guys have found their pacing. It's about improving even more now, taking every game as an individual moment, analyzing it, making the best decisions, and winning, just like we saw Mitro, Mongrel, and Tayson do in that last game. From 16th to 20th overall, we also have a few new names coming in and out, but at the same time, the same teams still on the page. We see Lanuf, Marine, and Jaspe on this page right now, 47 points, contesting that top team in first place. Hen, Deciptos, and Putrick finding some success here on day 2, but these guys will have to have great games to catch up to that top 5.
Guys, this last game felt like a superhero movie, right? We had the shot of the waterfall. We had players trying to go up and down, and then finally the heroes find themselves basking in the sun at the end, being victorious. I mean, we very well could be looking at our next FNCS champions, but there's more that kind of happened here in the game. So I'm going to kick it over to you guys. Walk us through what you guys are seeing.
Yeah, we'll have some big perspectives here earlier on in that end game from Mongrel and how these guys kind of learned from their last game, game number 1 of today, fixed their mistakes, and in game number 2, really played the zone very well to get that victory royale.
You can see they're already on height at this point, but they claimed that during the 50-50 zone because they got the zone right on them from 4th. But these guys are good. They'd already claimed a high ground position earlier on, so when they got that 5th zone, they could completely utilize that and keep height from there on out.
Yeah, in game 1, the mistake was kind of putting all the eggs in one basket, but not really knowing exactly where that basket stood. In this zone, there was water completely in the low ground. They were very comfortable on staying on height the whole time. Tayson here as well staying at the front. Mongrel staying in the back so he could keep tabs on any trios trying to shockwave up like we saw Artours do before. There's that water dive bomb play as Sancho called out. CRR, Kinzel, and Wolfies tried their best to play this water zone, but being on height is the best choice when you're in this type of zone, this aquatic kind of formation of what ends up happening for everyone on low. It's so hard to find your footing, and because of that, Mitro, Mongrel, and Tayson stayed high, stayed dry, and ended up winning that game with beautiful decision making.
check out Jake's insane. Try and get my disciples. Try to get things. Okay. What's your name? What here? You guys know my system. Where is it? and the ghosts are in this game, right? That was stat match, so that... I'd love to see it. See if we can level up. Where's our card of? I've got Pub Spazard, that'll be good. I want to get Midas here, guys. My dream has been we found him. Let's go, dudes. Let's go. Let's go, boys, man. Get out of here. We love to share it, we love to share it. We love Fortnite, we love Fortnite. Oh my god, guys. That thing's aimbot. So we can get some fish in here. What did he think he's doing? We are running low on ammo here. Come on. Thanks for the Mr. Shit, real cocaine. The loot's insane there. Oh, lucky zone, lucky zone. Can we talk about that, eh? I'll try my best to stream. Cheeky. Kid, I think knows what he's doing this game. Don't turn. How, man? How? Wolverine's OP.
This game mode is so choked. Wait, why did I lose the grapple? Wait, do you only get it for a certain amount of time? Do you only get it for a certain amount of time? Yo, welcome, Get Played. I hope you're having a good day, bro. There's like loads of people still left. The same colors in the same place every time, or do they change? No, 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 no! No! Oh, no! So slippery! Oh, rip! Oh, two, there's only one.
He's back in the ship.
It's close, whoever that guy is, that was close.